What is going on, everybody? Happy Sunday to you. Happy stress-free Sunday. Hope you enjoyed the victory day today. Just got to watch some NFL football. A little bit more stress-free, knowing we got the job done just yesterday. Welcome into the show. The Baltimore Ravens have finally received the news that they've been waiting for, and that is that they are tied for the top at the AFC North. We're going to take a little bit of a deep dive into the rest of this season, how it affects the race for the division, and what Baltimore needs to do if they want to lock up the AFC North, and what the Pittsburgh Steelers need to do for Baltimore to help them lock up that AFC North. Thanks again so much for tuning in. If you were tuned in yesterday during our live watch party against the Pittsburgh Steelers, I want to give each and every one of you guys a massive shout out. We had a ton of fun. I was live for almost 5 hours, covered it felt like an entire day worth of news. It was a blast. So if you were there, we had 43,444 people with us. We are now currently on the channel sitting at 23,852 subs. We have 148 subs to go until we hit that 24,000. I need each and every one of you to do it. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you're a massive Ravens fan, you found the place to be. So hit that sub button. We start with a little bit of a look at the AFC North Standings as they sit right now. All the football isn't done yet. You know, we still got the rest of the 3 o'clock games as I'm filming this to wrap up. But as of right now, every team in our division is done playing. And this is how the AFC North Standings sit. Pittsburgh Steelers are at 10-5. Baltimore Ravens at 10-5. They're tied at the top as in same record, but Steelers, because they've yet to play Kansas City, which they will on Wednesday, they still have the tiebreaker over them because of common opponent record, okay? Then Cincinnati Bengals at 7-8. They've just kind of been refusing to lose over these past 3 weeks. And then the Cleveland Browns at 3-12. And what goes into the news and it's finally here is the fact that you went into this weekend and you had a certain amount of things that you needed to have happen, and every single one of them happened, right? These were the things that we were rooting for. These were the things that were in I think this video went out on Friday. This was in my Friday video. What do the Baltimore Ravens need to happen this upcoming week? And all of them happened. The Chargers beat the Broncos on Thursday night football. Okay, so this went out on Thursday. The Ravens, of course, took care of business against the Steelers on Saturday. And the Chiefs took care of business against the Texans on Saturday as well. So that goes into all of this, right? Not only are you tied for the top of the AFC North, 10-5 record against the Pittsburgh Steelers, not only did you beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on Saturday, and guys, not going to lie to you, it was kind of a splattering, but you also had everything that you wish would happen this weekend. It's come to fruition. Okay, if you want the Baltimore Ravens to win the AFC North, I need you to do one simple thing for me. That simple thing is like today's video, okay? We can't jinx it. I need to see how many of you guys are supporting the Ravens on their playoff run, supporting them on their quest to the AFC North. Heck, I promise, I'll like the video as well if you do. Let's take a little bit of a look at the AFC Playoff Picture as it sits right now, the Bills game, as I'm currently recording this, is still going on, so that one is not updated record-wise. I'm assuming they're going to take down the New England Patriots. So, sitting at the top of the division, you have the Kansas City Chiefs at 14-1. They all but clinched this past weekend against the Texans. Well, I guess technically they have it because the Bills have the tiebreaker over them. And then in second is the Buffalo Bills. Third is still the Pittsburgh Steelers at 10-5 because they do have the tiebreaker over you. Fourth is the Texans at 9-6. And then 5, 6, 7 goes Ravens, Chargers, Broncos. You technically, I know it says it looks like you're 1 game ahead, but you're technically 2 games ahead on both of those teams, because you've beaten them in the head-to-head. And that X, that beautiful little X, next to that 10-5 record means that we have officially clinched a playoff spot. So the New York Times, as it sits right now, gives the Baltimore Ravens a 62% shot to win the division. Al, you might be asking me, Joey, why is that not higher, right? You are in the lead right now. It seems like that should be like 70 or 80%. Well, the Steelers, unfortunately, still control their own destiny. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. What the best case scenario for Baltimore is, though, is to win out, okay? New York Times They say if Baltimore wins out, they have an 81% chance to win the division. So, basically 4 out of 5 times, statistically, if this team wins out, they're going to come home with the AFC North title. What are your odds if you just beat Houston and you lose to Cleveland? Well, they get a tad worse, 30%. So it shows you how important that Cleveland game is, because if you lose to Houston but you just beat Cleveland, it's saying it's about a coin flip. 51% odds, okay? Now, I'm going to break that all down in a little bit more depth, but before I do any of that, I got to give a major shout out to the sponsor of today's video. It is our good friends over at Game Time. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time, and guys, it's the only place that I go when I'm trying to get tickets to any college football or NFL game. Game Time has a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks, and that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The tool highlights the best deals, including great and amazing deals for the highest value seat at the time. For some events, Game Time Picks even identifies a super deal, which is the best seat value in the venue. And guys, I know it's stressful this time of year. It's December 22nd. We're 3 days away from Christmas, and you might not have your significant other a Christmas present. You might not have your dad, brother, uncle, mom, sister, cousin, whoever it is, a Christmas present. Well, if you want to give them a present that they'll never forget, and that's a memory and a ticket to a sporting event, I suggest you use our friends at Game Time to do it. And the best part about it all is we're giving you $20 off if you use our code CHATSPORTS. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. So, unfortunately, you still have to treat every game from here on out as a must-win. That's not the unfortunate part. Honestly, if I'm speaking candidly, I kind of would rather this team treat every single game as a must-win from here on out. But the unfortunate part about it all is, if you win out and the Pittsburgh Steelers win out too, they still win the division. And it all kind of goes back to that pesky loss against who? The Las Vegas Raiders, okay? And so every game pretty much still is a must-win. If you want your best chance to win this division, you have to win every game you play. And then on top of that, you got to send a little prayer up that the Steelers drop a game. Let's look at some scenarios, okay? So you win out. Pittsburgh loses any game, whether it's the game against Kansas City, whether it's the game against Cincinnati. You win the division. Awesome. Okay, say if Pittsburgh wins against Kansas City but loses against Cincy, and you lose against Houston but beat Cleveland, then you also win the division. Okay, I know it's getting a little confusing. I know it is, okay? So say this upcoming weekend, or I guess Christmas, Pittsburgh beats Kansas City, you lose, but then you flip-flop the last week, you win, they lose, you win the division. All that to say, winning the game with Cleveland, like we talked about earlier, is a little bit more important than anything else. But, like I said earlier, you both lose out. Pittsburgh wins the division. So it stinks, and it's hard, that it's not 100% in your hands. Okay? Pittsburgh still controls their destiny. You don't. But it'll go a long way to win these games. Okay? You still somewhat have a little bit of an ounce of control over on how your postseason looks. So, the Athletic Playoff Predictor, they went ahead and predicted the next 2 games for the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if you look at the Ravens' next 2, against Houston, they give them a 51% chance to win. That's this upcoming one on Wednesday. That's in just, 3 days from now. I'll be live for that one. Come hang out. Then, January 5th against the Cleveland Browns, they got a 74% chance to win that one. If you look at Pittsburgh's games, they have them at a 45% chance to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So they got the Chiefs favored in that one, 55%. And then it's basically a coin flip, that last game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay? So at this point, you're hoping you win out, and you're hoping that Pittsburgh loses out. Or at least loses one of them. because then you get the division. Who wins the AFC North? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you think it's Pittsburgh, give me a PIT. If you think it's Baltimore, give me a BAL. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. I am your host, Joey Peterson. Hope this news sufficed. Hope you guys were just as excited about it as I am, because you finally are tied at the top of the AFC North. We still got a lot of football left to be played. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.